Welcome to Faith Alive in 5, the 5-minute gospel. Now here's your host, Dr. Faye.
For the past couple of weeks, I've been talking about tech addiction and whose fault is it, people blaming each other, pointing the finger in the opposite direction from ourselves, because after all, we are so perfect and we never make any mistakes, so it has to be someone else's fault. And how do I tie this in with blaming and shaming and guilt and worry, stress, anxiety that comes into the mix of technology and AI and all of these things that are going on? During the pandemic, we got so involved in trying to stay connected through technology, which we did a beautiful job at that of doing. I remember sharing this with someone that I thought I was in the Zoom rooms alone until the pandemic, and then Zoom started getting sluggish and the boys had to go back into the development lab and come up with a more robust system that could handle the demand, in which they did. And there are so many people who for the first time in their lives learn how to do a live on Facebook and get into social media and learn how to communicate effectively. Grandmas and grandpas were finally seeing children and grandchildren through technology for the first time in history. And it changed the world. It changed the world forever. While there are still many people that are scrambling for a norm in their lives, I want to bring some type of calm and peace in the midst of that storm. When we speak of the word post-pandemic, we speak of it in a way that is not as intense as it was for people to actually, yes, there are people that are still being tested, being tested positive, and there's still a lot of the residual effect. Behind every trauma, there's residual. If a woman has been raped, there's a residual. If there's an accident, there's a residual. People wake up traumatized. It's called PTSD for most people who experienced severe trauma from being in a war zone or being in an earthquake or some traumatic event in life. The pandemic was that for every person on this planet, that our lives were so touched by it. And yet there are those who will play the ostrich right now and go and bury their heads in the sand and say, no, Dr. Faye, don't talk about that. And we just want it over with. Well, it may be over with on the numbers, as far as the numbers are being so high, but it's not over with the residual effect that it left. It left a severe impact upon our lives. Whenever there's a tornado in an area and the media shows the wreckage, the damage that was done, that's the aftermath of that tornado. Whenever there's a tsunami or an earthquake, there's an aftermath to that. Even in an earthquake, the aftermath is still tremors, right? They call them tremors, I believe. Those tremors, that's the aftermath that something severe has just transpired. And so we are in a place right now, and this will help you if you listen. We're in a place right now that there is an aftermath that's taking place in your life, and you don't know how to handle it yet. You don't know how to handle it, whether to dismiss social media and technology completely and just go and be isolated, or try to manage it better. And my thought is this, that we will all try to manage it better instead of dismissing it, because it has its purpose. And realize that there are people that we need to be connected with, and then there are people that we need to disconnect from. And we're going to talk more about this in the days and weeks and months ahead, so that by the time this year ends, you will be in a better place. If you'll just tune in for Faith Alive in 5, the 5-minute gospel. I'm Dr. Faye, your pastor coach, and it's always my pure privilege to come and share good news with you. I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. Dr. Faye would love hearing from you. Contact her today at 870-860-9758 or email coach@drfaye.com. And remember, the calling is a gift, but the choice is yours.